All right, we are live. Even though we're early, we are live um, to an audience of us. Isn't that awesome? So,
Amazing.
yeah, very nice. So let's see here if I can do some commenting on here. This and it just told me that I'm live, which is nice.
Cool. And I'm going to start the event on the page.
Go for it. Wendy, I just got the notification that you are live. That's good. Glad to hear that.
Hi.
Okay, why am I not seeing my comments though showing up here? That's kind of discouraging. Come on now. Can't post in all the destinations. Okay, I just want to
We are
post it.
definitely live.
I am. Excellent. Let's see here. I would like to be able to get all my posts done here. Read, post, groups is good. Profiles is good. All right. Why am I not seeing new ones? All right. So, Lawrence, how are you today, my friend?
I'm amazing. It has been
That is
a
good.
beautiful day. Feeling really good, super excited. I always love the creative process. So I was really jazzed from us just putting all this together. Like just super, just love that. It just makes my brain feel so good. You know?
Your brain's feeling good. I love that too, because we don't
Mhm.
want Lawrence with a bad feeling brain.
No.
If you guys are watching, those of you who are watching, go ahead and make a comment so I can make sure that my comments are going to, your comments are going to show up here. I'm working on making sure they come through. Working on comments now because I'm waiting to see. Nope, I don't see your comment. Wendy.
Okay. Well, on Facebook, we are flowing
And comments are showing up.
and showing up in Facebook.
Okay, why are they showing up here? That's not nice. Let's see here. Well, that could be an issue, but at least they're showing up on Facebook, so
Yep.
they can make their comments. Let me read. Let me read what it says here. Chat platform.
James is here. Wendy's here. Amy's here.
Excellent. Looks like I'm gonna have to go over there and I have to go to my Facebook and take a look since they're not showing up here. Pooey on
It's a little
that.
delayed is the only problem. So
Well, that's all. That's how comments are. They are delayed that way.
no, I mean the video.
Oh well, that's how videos are. Those are delayed too.
Yeah.
All right, we forgot to put the disclaimer that says, let's see here. You have to log in the StreamYard in order to see comments. There is a link to click. Oh, there's our girl Wendy telling us that you have to actually click on the link in order to log into StreamYard and make comments here. For the names that show up. Well, I tell you what, Wendy, we have 6 minutes to see if we can fix that. So you log in and let's see if I can see yours coming through here. It is kind of weird that I don't see them. All right, I'm not going to stress on it. We're going to go here and just see what we got over here. Comments. I'm going to
Hi,
click
Amy.
on one of the links.
I see your chat.
I'm glad you're looking, so you can talk to them that way, huh?
Yeah, I just have to not pay
Okay.
attention to our video.
Yeah, I got to turn off the sound of mine. There we go. Yes, I'll see how late we are. Oh, nice and very tardy. Okay, excellent. Yep, there's Amy. I see her. Bummer that I can't post them over here. I wish I knew what was wrong. Well, that's technology for you, figuring this
Yep.
out. Okay, but I'm glad Amy's here. We love Amy. We love ourselves some Amy. And let's see here. And there's people watching now. Lockdown, Ludo, Okay, good. Hello, everybody. It's Charles, Vest, and Lawrence Lanoff, and we are having a blast here on a Sunday afternoon. getting this ready to roll. I see hearts are showing up, which gotta love that at least.
Gotta love that.
And let's see if I have any more control here.
Working out a couple of the tech details while
All right. So yes, I wanted to be able to communicate a little better with everyone, and that's not working out so well for me at the moment. But you guys are here to listen to us anyway. So there, you got something to say? Let's see. Amy says, hi
guess
to
what?
Charles and Lawrence.
I just found it.
What? Where is it?
Click on comments. We were on private chat. Click on comments. You'll see it right there in your StreamYard. There's a tab that says
where is that? Well, you say something then. Let's see your show up.
So if you go back to the StreamYard link,
okay,
and then you'll see it says private chat and then comments. Click on the comments tab.
All right, it's not.
I see everybody. Teresa's here.
Why do I not? I remember saying private, and that's probably where I screwed up here.
What's up, Teresa? Good to see you.
There we go. I'll get rid of that one. There we go. Okay. Now I am going to hit comments. It says there's one.
All right.
Oh, I was so close. So close.
So
okay,
close.
where we almost have 3 minutes. We're almost there. Okay, let's see. So there's that one. There's this one. See, I can show like.
Yeah, you too, Teresa.
But why do you see them and I don't?
Well, you see where the comments are coming in, right? Your comment where you and I were chatting.
It's not coming out on my side though. That's the thing.
Oh, when we were chatting on the private link, you that's still up, right? Like this one. Let me show you.
Yeah, that comes through.
So look immediately to the right of that private chat tab on the top, and you'll see comments, and click on that.
But when I click on that, I don't see anything but the ones.
Oh, boo! I see everybody.
I know that's the problem. Okay, why am I the only one that can't see it?
Oh, thanks, Teresa. We're looking handsome as ever, Charles.
Awesome. Okay, I have 2 minutes to solve. I'm going to go out and come back in. Let's just see if we
okay. We can't see you, but we can see your comments, which I'm really happy about. So, this is cool. I want to see I know we're going to have some people from all over the world watching, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to check my messages just to see if anybody's trying to join us. I see Teresa in the chats. Let's see. Yes, I guess I am a super special person to see the chats. That's funny. That is it. It's a superpower. So. Oh, Teresa. Wow. Well, sheesh, man, we got to bring you on. If you fix your hair and everything, we got to figure that out.
Well, we can hopefully show her words.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna go, and this is what I'm gonna ask from you, Lawrence.
Yes.
Is that because I see Amy's comment that just said, "Is Teresa on your page, Lawrence?" Okay. And hey, JJ, what's up? Good to see you. Also, and unfortunately, the people that are talking is not showing up where I want them to show up. So I'm looking at two different screens. So if you see me look this way, that's because I'm looking at me a minute ago. But that's all good. So everybody, thank you very much for coming on to our StreamYard. This is a live video. We're going to be talking about sales. We're going to talk about how and why really why I wrote a book called Ninja Sales Secrets, and why I'm so excited to have my special guest partner here next to me, Mr. Lawrence Lanoff. And we are going to merge two amazing things together. And that when I talk to folks, Lawrence, when I talk to folks and they go, well, Charles, what's going on tonight, for instance? And I say, well, you know that almost everything in life is about sales, and they nod their head on that. I mean, whether how are you going to pick your mate or your meal, it's all about sales still. And so with that, what if you knew the secret roadmap to how we make decisions? And when they hear that, when folks hear that, their ears kind of perk up. And that's why I'm so excited to have you part of what we're doing here today, because you are the master of speaking to the subconscious mind. And that's what is the secret sauce, the ninja way of helping people with sales, and also helping people with just interactions with other folks. So how do you feel about being part of my Ninja Sales Secrets platform? You're the first guest on my platform, and also the most important one I've ever had.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's the beautiful honor of being the first. You're the most important right away. So, I love it. I mean, it's so cool to be able to blend these, what seem at first to be very different ways of relating, and yet be able to see how they tie together, because they do. And you'll see by the end of this just how important it is. And when you can turn on essentially both ways of sensing, kind of the knowledge plus the feeling, the energetic side, it truly is a superpower.
Absolutely. And you'll do it. I'm asking you to be my co-host here, because we have some folks like Michelle's on right now, and there's others that I'm sure you can see that I can't see. Jericho's on. Thank you, Jericho, my real good friend here in San Diego. And so it's just great to have all of you guys here. And I'm very blessed to have you guys as my friends. Let's go ahead and really get into the crux thing, because this isn't going to be a long stream. This is going to be 90 minutes at the most. And we're going to be talking about something that just isn't really known. It was known for centuries, but what's happened is that there's been a shift in how we talk about providing a product or a service to folks, and more importantly, how we make decisions. And I'm going to give a couple examples on just a simple scenario that I've gone through, and the fact that decision-making process is installed in our DNA for years, and you understand it. And I'm going to start off by letting people know that our body makes the decisions for us in 3 different locations. The first is our heart, and then there's our brain, and then there's our gut. Now that I've said heart, brain, and gut, how does that resonate with you, Lawrence, the guy who understands how to talk to the subconscious?
Right. Well, what I love about it is that it's, first of all, it's people will generally be familiar with one of those things. So, they may have that sense of like, oh, I make heart decisions, or I listen to my heart. But really, heart is a certain sound. You can think of your heart as like the sound of just just opening and listening, tends to be very receptive, and a sense of possibility. And then the head comes in, and the head is like dealing with a lot of I meet people like this a lot. We all do, right? You meet the person who's like, this is the way it's done. It's a whole bunch of like, brrr. And so that also has a frequency, and it tends to be like doop, 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 where the heart is like dup, 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 dum. Rhythmically, it's got a different vibe. And we're oftentimes, one of the challenges is we have is because we might be familiar with, let's say, being in this like do, 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 and we're trying to communicate to somebody at that level, but they're listening from the vroom, vroom, right? And then you go to the gut. And the gut is that instinctual reaction. And that instinctual reaction, the instinctual reaction that so many people respond to, that's the thing that you might be familiar with the fight, flight, that response of like, oh, I have this weird feeling in my gut. That's kind of that instinctual reaction where some very intense, rooted, grounded, those of you that are familiar with energy systems, like we'll sometimes call that like the root chakra, or that, that kind of the sense of who you are at your root, that is where another instinctual decision is made. So here you are with 3 different ways of communicating. So that's why I'm so excited to share this tonight, because it's phenomenal when you become aware of it.
Absolutely phenomenal. And I'm going to give an example. And everything that you've shared really resonates well with this example. And here's my example of how we make a decision. So it was Christmas time, Lawrence, and I had saved up my money to buy myself a Christmas gift. And because I do a lot of audio visual stuff, a lot of video stuff, I saved up my money to buy myself a really nice camera. And so I go to the camera store with my bank account ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I go through and I go to the camera section and I search for my camera. Now, there's some choices there. And so I spend a little time there, and thank God the salesperson doesn't bother me. That's a whole nother problem that could happen. Can I help you, sir? I've only been here for 3 minutes. What do you mean, can you help me? Right. So I'm there. I'm looking at these cameras. I'm, make a decision to buy a camera. So my heart has been satisfied. I want to make beautiful videos and take amazing pictures. I go into the store with my own money. I pick a camera out after looking at the different prices and looking at the different features that are there. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But here's what happened. Right after I made that decision, the salesperson comes to me and says, "Looks like you're interested in a camera." And I said, "Absolutely. I see the camera I want." And thank God, again, he doesn't talk me out of it. He just says, "Great, here's your camera, sir." And so I take the camera. It's, about $3,500 for the camera. And I just start walking towards the counter until I get halfway there. And then I stop, I pause. And the sales guy sees me pause and comes up to me and says, is there a problem, sir? And I said, "No, I'm going to get this camera, but I just think that I should, let my wife know, even though it's my money, I think I should let her know that I'm buying this camera. And so I'm going to go ahead and you take the camera, and I'll be back tomorrow to buy it. I'm going to get the camera." And that is the third part of the body that you were talking about, which is a different vibration, which is the gut. And the salesperson smartly does this simple response. He says, "Sir, are you aware that we have a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee? You literally can bring the camera back for any reason. We're not going to ask you why. And we'll give you your money back if you're not totally 100% happy with that camera." And I thought about that, and I said, "Give me that camera back." And off I went. Now, what happened there is what I want to talk about.
Right.
And that's the main thing we're going to talk about here. It went from my heart to my brain and to my gut, and there was a lot of interactions that could have happened. I could have messed it up, but that was a perfect example of how a person makes a decision. What did you get out of that?
Right. So there's a couple things I want to say. So I definitely want to go back through this story and break it down. But first, I want to just share a couple quick ideas, right? So the first idea is the reason that worked is because the salesperson who you were talking to there did something that people do not generally know how to do, which is get out of the way. Get out of the way. Like you were in your flow right now that in general takes training. Generally when we're new, we're trying to overdo things, or we feel insecure in ourselves. That's why I love the context that you have of ninja secrets, because ninja represents a certain kind of internal training as well as external training.
Yes.
You can't, right? That's what's key here. So if we go through the story, so the first part of your story, if you would, just that first part, let's just talk about that for a second. So all right. And I'm going to give a little commentary.
Okay. The first part of the story, and by the way, I'm changing our view. How about that?
I love that.
The first part of my story, is that I knew what I wanted. My heart was set on buying this very nice camera. That's the first part of the story.
That's right. So your heart was set. So your heart is like, that's the stuff that we all have, by the way. You're listening, you're here because some part of your heart is just like, maybe you want to hang out with us and share some space and learn some fun things. That's a beautiful thing. But that starts at the heart, where we're like, okay, I want to learn. I happen to, and I'm going to use this word, love learning. Right there, it starts with the heart. So you go in and you're excited, and you have your heart's like, bloop, doop, bloop, doop, bloop, da, ba, da, ba, right? What camera's going, and you find that thing, and you're like, So the first thing that happens is the heart is awakened.
Yes.
Next piece of the story.
So I came in, my heart was set. My heart was very happy to see these cameras.
And what's the next thing you do?
The next thing that happens is the heart says, okay, I'm good. Now it sends it off to the brain. And the brain's job for us, basically, here's the conversation my brain has with my heart. Okay, here you go again. What kind of trouble are you getting us into now? Yep. I need to figure out how to say no. You're going to spend our money. There's more practical things. I mean, the brain just like, blah, blah, blah. All these reasons why the heart is going to get it and it is protecting the rest of us. And so my brain was happy because there were really simple cards that I can lift up and look at. And by the way, they're in black and white for a reason. I looked at those cards and I was able to make a decision. This one costs this much, had these features. This one costs this much, had these features. One thing to recognize, folks, is that the brain, as far as what I teach, I know you teach something a little bit more in depth, but the brain only wants to see things in black and white. That's it. Brain just wants it simple. And when it is confused, or there's a bunch of colors, or there's a bunch of different choices, and they say a confused mind says no, that is our brain. And so for me, I was able to, without interruption, look at these cards and make my decision without interruption. So what do you think about that?
Yeah. So, and somebody said here, nope, I'm here because I love Charles Vest. So there it is, though. That's the love. That's what we're saying. That's the hard part. Now, what happens is when you come in, and I'm seeing if I have a book. I don't have one handy, but when you come in and you move from here, now, as you said, it gets passed off. Now up here, you just need the simplest, clearest information. Right? What is the price? What are the specs? And then generally, right? None of this is going to be exact, like But generally what will happen is you'll kind of test through your mind, like, is this in my price range? Is this what I want? Does this have the features? Can I plug in the mic? Whatever those things are. And then you feel into, you kind of bounce that between your heart and back up. So there is a little bit of a feedback loop going up. When the mind is satisfied, which is what happened, you were like, okay, I found the thing. Boom.
You know, Lawrence, for me, in Ninja Sales Secrets, I talk about how a lot of people talk folks into buying something as a salesperson, and then they talk them out buying. And
Definitely.
that's because we have this misnomer. We have this thought as a salesperson, and everyone hopefully here is in sales in one form or another. We have this thought that we're supposed to help people make an informed decision. And that is not the case. We are not here to help people make an informed decision. You know who's here to help a person make an informed decision? They are. The brain is going to make an informed decision on its own. We are here to keep it simple and non-complex. And before we move on further, you and I were talking today, and you said something so eloquently. You said that, there's what we've done somehow over the years is that we have made people feel like if they don't make the right decision, they're idiots. What was the word? You use the word chump.
Yeah. Yeah.
They feel like if they don't make the right decision, they're a chump.
That's right. And that starts to move us into the gut, because that's where your instinct comes in. There is something so deep in our history, so deep in like our being. And it's like one of the worst things you can do is have somebody feel stupid, less than, like a chump, like they got taken advantage of for a decision that they made. And so often, a lot of what is preventing people, ourselves included, in buying anything or even doing something really good for us is there's a fear that is so strong that we're going to make the wrong decision, or we're going to look stupid in some way. And it is shocking how much this drives people, and not in a good way.
I believe that we have been so influenced by making a wrong decision that we have all turned into wusses, and we have a tendency to not even make a simple decision without looking around and getting confirmation and making sure that we're it's ridiculous nowadays. And so what I'm hoping that you and I can do for folks is to remind people that it's okay to make a decision, right or wrong. It's okay to choose to do something. I know that Tatiana is here right now, my greatest fan online. And I know Tatiana is at a point now where she needs to make a decision. And one of the cool things that I'd like to teach as far as decision making, I want your opinion on this before we get to the next part here, is if you have a choice between A and B, I usually suggest AB. A, B. Can you do them both? Is that possible? Right? Instead of having to be right or wrong, can you do them both? Or is it okay if you do one first and the next one second? That is something that we don't think about. We think that it's one or the other. And when we're making these decisions, and when your customer is making these decisions, we need to realize that it's our job to empower the customer that they can make a decision. It's okay to make a decision. And when the gut comes in, the gut's job is to say, was this a smart move? Is there a risk involved? Is really where the gut is. Do I feel it, at the end of that sales process? And so for me, when I had that camera in my hand with my own money, walking to the counter to pay, my gut goes, man, I don't feel like, really good about this. And how many times has that happened to any of you guys that are here? that the gut just stops you in your tracks. That happens to almost everyone. The gut is part of the process. Yeah. And so what I'm teaching and what you're going and what you're also, empowering is that we need to do as a salesperson. I know you're coming from a different angle, but as a salesperson, we need to ensure that when people make a decision, it's okay. And so what the salesman did to me is the salesman saw that I had stopped in my progress. He didn't walk with me to the front. He didn't talk to me. He came in at the right time.
Right. Because that's the instinct. That's the instinct moment. That's what stopped you. The instinct was like, wait, boom. And that's when he came and met you.
Yes. And so I told him my gut problem, and he just did it so perfectly. He said, he didn't make me feel like an idiot, obviously, right? He just says, you may or may not know this, but did you know that we have a no questions asked? Man, as soon as he said that, my gut goes, yeah, we are on like Donkey Kong. And so I went ahead and bought the camera. No problem. And that, my friends, is how people make decisions. What if you knew that this roadmap happens every single time? We've complicated it. We've thrown all this other stuff into the mix. But what if you knew that when you're offering your products and services to someone, that process is going to happen? You got to make them feel good about them. Their heart's going to love what they got. They're really into it. It's going to go to the brain. And here's an interesting thing, Lawrence. Do you know that this look right here is actually a positive look in the sales process? You ready for it? I'm going to give you the look here. I'm going to do it right here like this. Watch this. Okay, here comes the look. Do you know that is actually a great look during the sales process? If you were selling mortgages, if you were selling whatever it is, and you got someone across the table and they're like this, that's a good thing. That means that the brain is engaged, because here's the opposite. Here's when the person is gone. This should be just like to you. Ready? Here, I'm going to show you what happens when the person's not paying attention. Okay, that means I'm checked out and I'm already on my way to Chick-fil-A, and you don't even realize it. So, folks, big aha, I hope. If someone's like this, that's a good thing. Don't break that. And from a suggestion point of view, from kind of a meta hypnotic point of view, what would be a good way to interact with a person that is like this when you're talking?
Well, I'm going to go, let's go super, let's start just super simple. The most important thing for you when you're communicating with somebody and you see that look, that like, right? That is, you want to just have that be an automatic signal, like, oh, they're doing exactly what needs to happen. If you can relax about that, in essence, the best thing you could do is kind of lean back a little bit and let that process, right? And then
Thank you. The best thing you could do is let it happen.
Exactly.
We tend to jump in there. Oh, I could tell you're thinking about this. Oh, is there anything else I need to share with you? I mean, we go through all these things that we're interrupting that simple little I'm making a decision process. I know, I get excited about this because I see it all the time. You know what you said? You said, let's break it down simple, Charles. How about the fact that you recognize that that's happening? Yeah. Recognize that that's happening. And that would mean that we're in the greatest part of the sales process. The brain is about to send it on down the path. And you're right there where you need to be.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Lawrence. I got a quick analogy for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful.
You're gonna love this. What was your favorite cereal when you were growing up?
Magical Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms. And who is the character that was on the cover of that box?
That little leprechaun.
Yes, the leprechaun. And guess what? If you walk into the grocery store today, anyone pretty much, and you walk down the cereal aisle, guess who you'll find 50 years later?
I will find my little lucky leprechaun.
He's still there.
Yep.
See, the big companies, box stores, all marketing budgets of billions of dollars, they know that your heart still is in love with Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms, Sugar Smacks, Tony the Tiger. As I'm saying those names, I bet you're starting to, people that are watching this are starting to salivate now. When Count Chocula, Fruity Pebbles. I mean, I can go on, and these magical moments, these beautiful images start coming in because these are the characters that we loved when we were little. And that is why they haven't changed them. You know that Lucky Charms, the leprechaun, Magically Delicious, is still the same guy who was there 50 years ago, literally 100 years ago? Isn't that crazy? And so they know that our first thing that's going to need to be engaged is that we see our old friends. Mine was Captain Crunch, okay? And when I go and I took my kids there when I was, when they were like 6, and they didn't know nothing about cereal. I mean, I just went there. I'm going to the cereal, which, by the way, is the first place that they send you if you just walk into the right door of any grocery store. You're like mindlessly, and next thing you know, you're in the cereal aisle. Okay, there's a reason for that too. But when you're in the cereal aisle, I was in the cereal with my kids. I have twins, and I saw my buddy. I saw my old friend Captain Crunch, and I'm like, oh my God, there's Captain Crunch. Now, do I eat Captain Crunch? No, I don't eat sugar. But I grab the box. And I'm like, there's my buddy. I showed it to my kids. You guys are going to love this. You should eat this. But you know what? The next thing I did was with that box. It's the same thing that everyone does with that box. What do you think?
The very next thing, I want to see. What do you think? When the chat is open, what would be the? I'm just curious if anybody knows what the next thing. You're looking at the box. You're, as one person saying here, salivating. What is the very next thing that happens? I'm really curious. I'll see if the chat is working. If not, we'll jump in.
I mean, obviously I can't put it on here, but there is something that everyone pretty much happens when we walk to the cereal aisle and we see our old buddy and we pull that box off the shelf, that beautifully colored magical box of your buddy from when you were young. And you're just like, oh, I loved Tony the Tiger or whatever. What's the next thing that happens? It gets sent to the brain. And then
that's right. And you grab that box and you're like, zoop. What is in this thing? There. What are the ingredients?
Calories. Right.
Yeah.
What? So you turn the box to its side. I should go get any box because it happens on not just cereal, any box that you buy at the store. You love what it's on the front. That's why they make them so colorful. But then when you turn it to the side, you will see ingredients in black and white.
It's
in black
and white. That is
white.
Key to-
That is exactly how you talk to the brain. And you want to make a mistake, give information in this second part of the sales process in color. Or put a whole bunch of colorful things on there to make it look all pretty. Have you ever done that? I mean, if that's you, now you've learned. Okay, so when we get from the first step, which is the heart, to the brain, when it transfers over to the brain, and this is what's about to happen, it needs to be so simple and clear, black and white. Bam. You walk into a Costco store and you see all those beautiful heart things, which are like TVs and watches and computers and all that jazz. And then when you walk up to make like, oh man, I love this 50,000 inch TV, right? How are the prices? They're in these little cards that just are in black and white. They get it. They understand how we make decisions. So that happens in the cereal aisle. Now I've went to the brain and I've turned the box to the side. Here's the big question, and I want you guys to answer this. We are looking at your comments here. What happens? How does this box help you in your decision-making process for cereal? How does that box help your gut? What is on the box that helps your gut make a decision? What does the gut need to do? It needs to, what is the word? Against risk, not modify risk, mitigate against risk, whatever it is. Your gut needs to say, the risk needs to be minimized. That's what it is. Minimize the risk. So how does a box of cereal with 4 billion calories, how does that box of cereal, the advertisement, the marketing, minimize the risk? Let's take a look. Teresa's on it, man. Serving size is one. It's part of it. What it does is it says, you turn it back to the front, and all of a sudden you see something you hadn't seen in the first place because you were so in love with your old buddy. You see 0 trans fat, or gluten-free, or only 25 calories per serving, or, I love that, vitamin D enriched. Thank you, Randall. Yeah, exactly. All those things to eliminate that feeling of, I'm going to have 30,000 milligrams of sugar in my body. And the brain's like, are you kidding me? But, you saw the facts. And the brain looked at the calories and saw that it was only 30 calories, like Teresa says, per serving. What's the serving size? You have to really look for that. It's like 1 teaspoon. It's like three little nuggets. Folks, what I'm getting at and what we're talking about here is that there is a process that we all go through when we make a decision. And if you knew the process that your customer is going to go through, wouldn't that give you an advantage? Wouldn't it almost be like you know the matrix of decision making? Well, that's what I write about in my book. And I know I'm pushing my book because I need to. I want to be a national bestseller. So there it is, right down there, right? BuyCharlesBook.com. It can't get any easier than that, right? So that gets you to our site to buy the book. But more importantly, now that you know that there is a roadmap, what Lawrence has very kindly offered is that we can actually teach people, and you got real excited about this. You want to talk about that for a second? What you got excited about?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's funny. Insider trading. Well, it is true. It is like a matrix of decision making, and when you begin to include your entire body, something profound happens. So that's one of the things that I love sharing about, because if you take the 3 pieces, so now you have a new idea, right? You have a new idea and a new way of thinking about sales. So that process in and of itself has a series of components, simple but very real components.
Yes.
Now, this thing begins to happen when you become aware of this process, and part of this will be through practice. So I know for sure, part of our homework for you is to go out into the world and just start to pay attention. Where are you in your personal decision making on any given decision? But there is a third, I would say, sort of a hybrid that happens, an amalgam where an emergent property begins in your being, in your body, that feels like, yes, yeah, this feels good. That's what happens when your heart, your mind, and your gut are aligned. And the reason we're taking time to talk about both from a perspective of energy, because energy, vibration, all these things, we know what these are intuitively. We know when we're excited, when we're not feeling so good. These are very real sensations. So as you become aware of those things, you can start to communicate to people in the process. You can start to communicate. You can start to understand by feeling in what I call global awareness or body sensing where somebody is in their process. And then also understanding when that thing happens where all of the centers, the energy centers align, and everything gets into a hum or a harmony, like a harmonic vibration. You've got the baseline of the gut, you got the of the heart, and you have the click track of the mind. You get those three things happening, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, this feels good. And that's that feeling. It's so satisfying. It's so satisfying because, yes, somebody said it's unique. Of course, it's unique for every person. If you understand the tone, the feeling, the vibe, you can know where you are at any given moment. And that to me is super exciting because it's just, we are always making decisions, and we are always, one way or another, life is sales and marketing. Life is that. You want to meet somebody, you better get those three things in alignment. You know,
better. And what we are also talking about, and you're just, I just love listening to you because you're seeing it like through the matrix. You're seeing the core of what's really energetically happening with folks and all that. And me, I'm just like, I just need a simple ABC process and how I'm going to get this sale to happen and how I'm going to learn. And so what's going on is that in my book, I talk about the process of making decisions. That's great. But I also talk about personality traits. And when we talk about personality traits, we talk that we teach that there are 4 major personality traits. Everyone has pieces of them all, but there's 4 primary traits. And we're not going to get into it now, but we are going to be teaching you how to identify that fast what type of personality trait you're dealing with. Now, here's the key. If you are a detail-oriented person and you are someone that really likes to get the full document, someone that wants to read every single thing on there, and a lot of you are like that, right? But you're selling to a person who just wants to enjoy life and have fun and not be bogged down by all the details, you're going to have to be able to identify that person, because if you go to that person and say, all you have to do is read this 50-page document and sign where I have highlighted the areas and make sure that you cross your T's and dot your I, you've lost that person. They're gone, okay? But what if you could actually identify the person in front of you on the camera or in person? What if you can identify that person quickly? Because you, just like with knowing that there is a roadmap to decisions, you could know that this type of personality wants this type of information. And so what Lawrence and I have decided to do is we're actually going to teach these things, these ninja secrets, on a weekend training. We're going to do it in about a month. And I think we talked about October 2nd through the 4th. And we're going to offer this weekend training on how to easily know that there's a roadmap. Remember what I said in the beginning? We complicate the heck out of sales. We complicate the heck out of just communicating with each other. Just asking someone on a date is a complicated thing. And, a lot of people don't know that you have, I was listening to some of your videos. Okay. I can't even fathom how you have learned all these different ways to communicate to the opposite sex and all the, like sex, tantra, and all. You're amazing at this. But as I was listening to some of them, I was realizing that, you know what? You're just talking from a place that is millions of years in the making. Us men have been doing this for millions, and only recently have we complicated the aspect of talking to the opposite sex. I'm not advocating clubbing your women and dragging them by their hair, but there's some women that might advocate that, right? And so with this big long time that we're talking from our DNA and acting like, okay, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to do this. Now, for some reason, in this short amount of time in the history of mankind, not men, sorry, the history of mankind, we've made this thing so complicated. And so you and I are going to be teaching people that there is a simple roadmap. And we're going to do it over the weekend. We're going to talk about personality traits. We're going to talk about energy and how you can sense, feel, and even, if I can be so bold, manage other people's energy.
Oh, definitely.
And help them in making these decisions. And even if at the end of the weekend, all you feel is more confident that you can make a decision without having to go through all that bull crap of not wanting to feel like an idiot and don't want people to make fun of you, and all, that needs to go. And I know that you're going to help us get rid of that impediment, Lawrence.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited that we're going to provide that.
Yeah, I want to talk about that for a moment too, because that
Please.
It's crazy how that works, like that gut reaction. And this is, I was working with somebody today, and it's fascinating because she's in this phase. She is in a sales process without knowing that she's in a sales process, which is why I love how these things, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you want something, there is a process and there is a map to getting there. There's an internal map, and then there's the map and who you are communicating with. And all communication is a conversation. It is a conversation between two people. And the more simple and clear you are, the less junk. And you can think about that gut reaction, what you were talking about, that stuff that's going on in the gut. That's just, so much of that is junk, because we're programmed to be terrified. We're programmed to worry what other people think, because back in the day, that if you upset your group, your tribe, your people, you're out and you're dead. So you had to be very deeply concerned with what other people thought and how you were going to look. And we carry this now in a world that has completely changed. So the sooner you can feel the sooner you can kind of clear out that impulse or understand it. Again, it could work that way too, where you go like, oh yeah, that's so cute. My gut is acting as if this is a life and death decision. And in fact, it is just noise that complicates. And that's another thing you may have noticed when you make a decision, why you may make that decision and then start second guessing, because we never got to that resonance. When you get to the resonance, when all your parts are like, boom, I got this. There are no questions. There is no, what did I do? I don't know if that was the right decision. It is that resonance is part of what we're going to be teaching, which is how to feel it and how to experience it and how to make sure you're holding that resonance so other people can relax and feel safe in your presence while you're communicating whatever it is you're communicating, whether it's a sale or some kind of communication or connection that is needed to move to the next step.
I am so excited about what you just said. And when you talk about, and to me, what I'm hearing is how to be comfortable and confident in yourself, that vibration actually transcends, actually goes across the ether to the person that you're talking to. I can't tell you how many times, Lawrence, as a salesperson, 50 years of sales in my life, where I've sat across the table or I've sat up in front of a room, and before I even say anything, because I'm just like so pumped up, so excited, so charged with what product that I'm selling, that a person has came up to me and said, I don't know what you're selling, but I want to buy it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you're on, but I want to take some, right? Mm-hmm. And I hadn't even started talking yet. And that is a level of comfortability and confidence that I'm looking forward to sharing with you folks over a weekend, just getting together and learning some of these things. And yeah, in the Ninja Sales Secret book, there's 20 really simple secrets. I start from the basics, right? Where I just talk about the fact that what is the most important name that your customer wants to hear, which is their own name. Be good if you remembered their name and use it in the sentence. I mean, that's like, 101 stuff, but we tend to forget it. And then how about the use of the word thank you? Can you use that more often? What if the customer says, I don't know if I want the red one or the blue one, and you say thank you for looking at the red and the blue one? Okay, so those type of small things, simple things, are in the book. Okay, and you can get Ninja Sales Secrets. It's only $9.95. You can easily buy it, start learning, and start making sales now. I'm looking at the people that are here. Mikey Cohen, he's here. I know he's in sales all the time, selling his photography, selling his events. I know that Teresa's in sales. She is selling her proofing services and her ability to understand the difference between a dangling participle and a predicate, right? I don't know the difference, but she does. But how do you sell that? I know Wendy's here. Wendy wants to make money with the skills that she has, but where's the confidence level in selling that? And so what I want for everyone here is to be comfortable and confident, because in your back pocket, you got some ninja secrets. You got some Lawrence Lanoff energy, understanding. And when you have that, you can walk into any sales situation, also any negotiation, also any possible partner that you're looking to connect up with. Mm-hmm. I mean, in relationships, you only have 30 seconds to make a first impression. That's the same with sales. They're hand in hand.
Yeah. So, and I want to say, there's some early books. So the turn of the last century started this whole movement. And one of the things that was spoken about is sex transmutation. So that idea of transmuting your energy that's the vibration. It's just a different way of describing it, but it's in one of the chapters of Think and Grow Rich. And that whole very thing of learning how to move and work with your energy. So when you feel nervous, you know what to do with it. So that when you're channeling, you begin to channel that vibration. That's the thing when people come up to you, Charles, and they're like, wow, right? It's because everything's in alignment. Yes. And you get that. And what that shows up for people is like, wow, that feels authentic. It feels real, because it is. It's coming from like who you are in your core.
Thank you.
Right. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's learnable. That's
it's learnable.
That's what's so cool.
We can teach it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And Mikey just said transmuting energy, like that's part of what he does. And of course, I mean, if you don't do it, you're doing it one way or another. If people are doing it unconsciously, then it's just an unconscious mess. But if you're doing it consciously, it's a beautiful thing.
People accidentally do well in sales. I see it all the time.
Yep.
They accidentally don't say anything because they don't know enough about their products or services to say anything to interrupt the person making their decision. And the person says, okay, I'll buy it. And the look across the table or the look at the salesperson is, you will? Okay. And I've seen, even in that scenario, I've seen folks talk customers out of buying it because they still want to do this. They still have to make sure that they give all the information about this thing that they already said they're going to buy. Mm-hmm. And we mess it up so often. And so one of the things that I'm going to teach is how to shut up. And when the sale is made, even if it happened, I mean, there's been times where like I said, I've stood up in front of a room. I'm going to sell, like I was in the travel industry, and I was going to sell, opportunities to travel. And I said, who would like to travel the world at discount prices and be able to write off on your taxes? And a whole bunch of hands went up. And I said, well, if you're ready to get started, come on over and I'll give you a free, your first trip's on me. there was a whole bunch of people that got up and walked over, and they said that would be me, and they joined my deal, and they bought my products and services. Now, what if I would have said, hold on, everyone that has your hand up, you know where I'm going now, right? Everyone who has your hand up, I want you to understand the tax ramifications of being in the travel industry and how it can really affect your 401. I mean, I could have done that and I would have talked everyone out of the deal. But what happened is they walked up. I said, great, give me your name. Okay, great. Give me your name, credit card. Great. Give me your name, credit card. And it was over. There was no need to do any more selling. And what if you could actually feel that vibration, that the sale is the transfer of information has been enough for that person to make a decision. And that's what we're going to teach. And it doesn't have to take 87 minutes and 22 seconds to make a sale. It could literally happen in a minute. Just like with dating, I know I point to you all the time. How long does it take to make a first impression enough for you to get a chance to go out to take someone to dinner?
Yeah, so fast. It's literally like micro. In some circles, they're saying that those decisions are made in like seconds.
And why is that happening so fast there, Master?
Yeah, well, part of it is because the other thing that happens is, you know, somebody will come in with an idea. This is one of the most common things I see. Someone will come in with an idea, a piece of bad information. When I say bad information, just incorrect. Which is why I'm loving what we're talking about, because if you get the information right, everything goes right. But if people are using a bad map, so they'll come in and they'll be like, I'm going to come in and, you know, be a you know, whatever the thing, I'm going to be a man and I'm going to, right. But you come in with somebody who's hanging out and she's in her heart and having a heart to heart, and you're coming in with this energy. It's so out of sync. It doesn't matter. It's over. You know, and there's so many things like that, again, where we're getting in our own way. Whereas if you are coming up already with a sense of where someone is, then someone turns, like if I'm coming in matching or a little bit higher than that energy and somebody's in a conversation, I say, yo, excuse me, boom, and they turn and I'm in tune with that, super easy. And that's just part of developing. It's part of developing a sense that we really haven't been taught. That's the body sensing. That's the energetic piece. And that is, you know, when people say like, do you believe in sixth senses? I'm like, yeah, I do. It's called your body. It's called your body sense. You know, and that is an acuity. It's an awareness for a reason.
Well, I think that we have shown, you definitely have shown that you are a master at understanding what these things are going on in our body. And I can't wait to work with you and teach folks these things that we have, you know, spent, you know, they say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. I'm sure that I know that you're not, because, you know, that's just the thing that is said and people believe it, but I'm sure we both have hundreds of thousands of hours.
Oh, for sure. No, that's why I'm laughing. Between the two of us, we've got, you know, I was like 10,000 hours. I think I hit that in my 20s.
Well, one of the things that we can promise, because you and I are both, I think, are you over 50? Are you 50 yet? Are you at 50 yet? Okay. Both of us are over 50. And if once you learn this vibrational thing, you start looking as young as us. I just wanted to let you know that's my product of this. So I know that we just talked about this, and we have it on the calendar. We're doing this summit. We're only going to allow for, you know, less than a certain number. And so, you know, when I know that you did your last training, and it was just like a month ago, and that was somewhere around $1,000 for your training on what you did. Yep. And that was you by yourself. And now you add me to the mix, and there's at least another $100 worth of training that we're going to provide here. And so when we were talking about it, yes, we're going to have to really come up with a better price, like somewhere in the $1,500 range for this event that we're going to put on. But for the folks that are here right now, there is a way for you to go ahead and sign up with us for this event that's going to happen October 2nd. It's basically on October 2nd, which is Friday. You'll be able to come in, and we're just going to kind of have a, just to get together, on Friday evening for an hour or so. And then on Saturday, we're going to go almost all day. And then on Sunday, we're going to go 3/4 of the day and really dig into this. And we are going to promise you, we are going to guarantee that you will have a roadmap to sales and relational success, because they really are the same. You will be given the roadmap to this. You will have the tools to be able to assess the person in front of you, even if it's on the phone, and be able to understand how to communicate to them so that what it is that you're selling, they are prepared to buy. Does it mean that everybody buys? No. But if everybody at least made a decision, then you've upped the odds incrementally. And so with that, we decided that let's just let people join and sign up. Let people be part of what we're doing for $500. And $499 looks better than $500, so we said $499. And all you have to do is go to Zoom. I almost said ninjaweekend.com. Ninja Weekend. Now, I was supposed to put it in the comments here, but I can't. And so all of you guys that are our friends, please go ahead and put in the comments ninjaweekend.com. And that is where you can go and be part of what we're going to be teaching you and be part of our summit. And I don't know how long we're going to have that sale go on, but it's not going to go on for that long. We are going to really plan. We got special guests that we're going to also bring into the mix. I have some pretty cool friends, and I know you do too, that can come and join us for our summit. But we're giving a money back guarantee because our gut needs it. And so there it is perfectly. Thank you, Randall. He put it in there. There it is, the Ninja Simple Sales Weekend. Excellent. And so, with that, I want to just, we're like right on an hour. So we've done a great job of managing the time. So if anyone has any questions right now in regards to your sales situation, I want to just have some space here for you to be able to ask a question online, and just go ahead and type it into the comments here on this post, and we'll see if we can help you with that question. Maybe you are in the sales process and you want to know why nobody wants to buy anything from you, or or how do you handle sales in this pandemic, which for me, it's been amazing because we now can actually look at each other and know when someone's paying attention if you're selling over the camera, over this medium. Go ahead,
Charles. I would say this is really important. It's like, whatever you call it, we're always communicating and, in essence, selling an idea or a thought or a connection. I mean, that's what's so interesting. It's like sometimes we feel like sales is like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. We are always doing it. We're always communicating. We are always saying things. It's just most of us are saying things in a fairly discombobulated way, because we've got bad habits we've learned, and there's all these things going on. It's like sales is, I'm being a little outrageous here, but I mean, sales is life and life is sales. It's like, what is the peacock? The peacock is a sales and marketing, boom, the tail,
yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's part of, there are better words, and I want to continue to use them and find them, because it's really about everything that we do. And what I'm concerned about when I'm speaking and sharing with people is it's all the things that they're doing that sit in the unconscious in your own gut, where you're not feeling comfortable. Maybe, this is a very common thing because I've shared at some of my executive C-suite coaching students. One of the most common things in there is somebody might get to the peak. There's one person specifically I'm thinking of right now who I spoke to recently is at the top of they're at the top of their business. They have to turn around and sell to, in this case, they had about 250,000 employees, and they have to, it's like they have to communicate this idea, and yet inside of themselves, what's going on? Their gut, their instinct is, I don't want to look like a fool. I don't want to, I don't want to be kicked out. I don't want to say something stupid. So they're communicating all that stress. Fortunately, they came to me and we could talk about these things, because you get those steps. The big problem there, right, was in the gut, in the instinct. The communication was like, oh, somebody's going to find out I'm lying, or I'm not, I'm not that, right? And that all that stress gets communicated out into the organization. And how many of you have worked for businesses and people and situations and companies, and you're like, oh, and we call it company culture, but fundamentally it's really the company dysfunction. It's the stuff that hasn't been processed. It's the stuff that sits in the unconscious mind when people are communicating and when things are not in alignment. But you get that in alignment and it's like, boom, done. You're in the flow. You get that vibration. You're there. It's a beautiful thing.
My son, oh, good. Someone just wrote something. You can read it. My son came to me today, and he works for this very large company, Vanguard. And it's a financial institution. And he says, maybe you could come in and teach our management how to make decisions, because if there's a way to help all of these heads, these chiefs, figure out how to make a decision without having to take literally years to get through the process, we could actually get things done. It is very common that when you have a lot of strong personalities that are, we're in charge of everything, decisions aren't made, because every day a new decision is made. And how do you learn to listen? How do you learn to say, okay, we have a choice. We have A, like I said before, and we have B.
Right.
What if we could bring them both together and have even a synergistic answer? That is the key to organizational success. That is the key to any, like, if you're like, I come from the network marketing space. If you want to learn how to grow a large team, and you want to learn how to have a large group of people that are constantly growing, then you also learn how to take in all of these new ideas, all of these new ways of getting our products and services out, and add them to the mix. We don't know all the answers, but together we can. And that's why you and I together are putting this sales training out, so that it's kind of like the East meets West, right?
Yes.
I'm coming from the traditional, here's how you sell, here's how you talk about it, here's how you position it, here's when you shut up. And you're coming from the energetically, here's how you show up. Here's how you exist in that process. And here's what's possible. And oh, by the way, here's how fast it can happen. And so remember, it is, because I don't have it written here, it is pasted. It is posted here that it is ninjaweekend.com. But let's see what we have here from, is it JD? Is that your friend, JD? JD Davis? My business is a safe place art. Okay. She sells scrunchies on Etsy and expanding to clothing. I'm having problems organizing my social platforms to optimize sales. Do you have any tips on how to be clear and cohesive with your brand? The answer is yes. Would you like more? Okay, let's dig into a little bit on this. When you say that you're having problems organizing your social platforms, that means that you have social platforms. And we have a tendency to want to organize all of these things that we have, that we feel like if we have more tools and more things that we can organize, the better we're going to provide. It's really, how do you feel about this, Lawrence? It's really about how you show up by yourself on a one-on-one basis on whatever. Like for me, I use Facebook platform, but you have to pick one, and you gotta, and for me, you gotta learn. It's like going to 5 bars to try to find a date. I know it's a weird analogy, right? Go to one and hang out there and figure out, where the bathroom is and, where the jukebox is and that kind of thing. And so get good at one thing and get comfortable and confident at the one thing that you bring to the table. What do you say about that, Lawrence?
I mean, right, definitely. I think it's like there are always more things. Right. There are tools. There are going to be words that we're going to be saying a year or two from now that are not even invented yet. And they'll be commonplace. Are you like on the, so the platform is less important than, and it is important, obviously, but finding that message or that place where you are being your best, right? That place, that's your grounding point. I can't tell you how many people I know who are trying to be, I'm doing this and 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 I'm doing this. And that is a problem. So what is the one thing that you go like, yes, I've got this dialed in? Boom. That's the starting point. That's the building point.
Yeah. Sorry. I bet you that JD would sell more scrunchies one-on-one and at a get-together than she does on all her platforms together, because you bring you to the table, and that's who people buy from. And if you can figure out a way to be you in these multiple platforms, then you're going to have something. But that's not our expertise. We're not Facebook, Instagram, social media platform geniuses, but what we are is authentic people, right? And so when we know that when you show up with confidence, my first question to anybody when they want to sell something to me is, how good is it? How good is your product? Mm-hmm. How good are you?
Yeah.
And I kind of, in my head, I'm counting how long it takes to answer that question. It is really quick and easy. My product is amazing, and I am amazing. All right, that's what I'm looking for. That's the total confidence. But if they start going into, Consumer Reports has said that my product has done this, and other people have said this, then you lack the confidence in it. So that's something that I always bring. And one of the things you learn in Ninja Sales Secrets is this answer. And I'm going to go ahead and give it to you right now. And JD, you can use this. I don't remember what chapter it is. Actually, I do know what chapter it is. It is in chapter 15. Secret number 15. Here's the answer. That's exactly why I'm here. That right there answers the question. So what's great about your scrunchie over the others? What's great about your product services? Why would I buy from you than buy from someone else? There's all kinds of questions that could come to you. But the answer is this. Let's just say you asked it, Lawrence. Lawrence, that's exactly why I'm here, to answer that question for you. That's exactly why I'm talking to you, because I want to make sure you make that. So when you use that response, that's exactly why I'm here, that changes the vibration of everything. And it tells that person that they're at the right place at the right time, and the universe has brought everyone together and things are in harmony. And that's exactly why I'm here. So there's your little ninja secret number 15. Do you want to add to that comment?
Love it. Well, two things I want to say is JD said, it's YouTube and Instagram. Definitely focus on Instagram, and getting comfortable in your skin. This is what it's about. Whatever the thing is, this is what this is more of the energetic work, but this is what it's about. It is getting comfortable in your skin, to be available, to be real in what you're communicating. And if you can be that, it doesn't really matter what people say or what they think, because that is that core sense that we've been talking about. It's when you get into resonance, when your heart, your mind, and your gut are in alignment. And that goes for you. If you're not believing in what you're selling or your product, people vibe on that.
Mm-hmm. They know how you feel about it. So I think it's time to kind of bring this to a close.
Definitely.
And I've had a great time sharing with you. I'm going to do a better job of making sure all your comments show up, but they're all in the post anyway, so they're here. Looks like 40 something comments have happened since we started. Thank you all for participating with us. And there's a couple things. Just write these down. ninjasellsecrets.com. That's going to take you to our website, and the first 200 books that we sell from that website, I am actually personalizing and autographing them, so you can be the first in the world, in the universe, to have the Ninja Sales Secret book autographed by myself, Charles Vest, the Ninja Sales Secret coach. And so that's ninjasellsecrets.com. You can also go to the same place by going to buy Charles' book. Couldn't get a better donation than that. For our weekend that we're putting together, Lawrence and I are putting together for you, and we will do other things to market it, but the price will go up. It is only $4.99 to come with us, and we have a money-back guarantee on it. You will get a roadmap for your success. You will get a roadmap on how we make a decision. You will learn how to energetically understand the person that's in front of you, and that is huge. And so you just go to, as we have here, you go to ninjaweekend.com, and you can join us and hang out with us there. Then let's see, what else is there? Do you have anything you want to share about that you want people to go to for your information, Lawrence?
I'm going, I offer a lot of, there's a lot of things, because in all of this, the more, my experience is the more people get comfortable. So if the energy part of things is interesting and you want to do a deep geeky dive into that on any level, I offer things during the week. I offer community calls. There's things that are happening. So just find me on Facebook or on private message me on Facebook or Instagram. That's the place to do that. We will tie all of those things that I'm talking about will be in support of what we're teaching in this class. So the more you can exercise that ahead of time, great. Come play, come exercise, meet some like-minded people. I think this is awesome. And I'm really super excited to just have everybody here. I love this.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again in a week.
I'd love to do it again.
Why not? All right. So we'll give you some more snippets of what's going on in these sales and energy. I mean, bringing those two together, I know, at least for you and I, we're so excited. We just talk to each other, and you guys want to join us, it's up to you, right?
Exactly.
So, anyway, thank you all for being part of this. And Lawrence, my deepest thanks to you for joining the Ninja Secrets team. And I can't wait to see what things that we bring together and what we do for the world. I know we're going to make a difference.
And Charles, before we go, I just want to say thank you. You are one of those people who showed up for me at a moment when I needed somebody to show up for me, and you were that person. And I want to say I really appreciate that. That is part of, genuinely part of what I love and appreciate about what you do, and the precision and simplicity and genuineness of all that. And so it's an honor to be here.
Honor's all mine, my friend. And all of you that are watching, we love you. We can't wait to help you and work together and grow this tribe, if you will, to something real special. So once again, thanks a lot. We'll do this again in another week or so. And have a great, great rest of your Sunday.
All right. Bye, everybody.